You drag it. Yeah, you just put it there and it'll go right to where you want. You know, it jumps down and you make adjustments.
So the city slicker was driving through the country and he saw this big field and these animals in it, and he stopped by the farmers. He says, boy, them there, I didn't realize that there were cows with no horns. And the farmer says, well, and he says, are there any cows, other cows that don't have horns? Yeah, he said, American white Park, the Angus, the belted Galloway, the red Angus, the Galloway, and the British white all don't have horns. That thing you're looking out there, that's a horse. Oh my. Tip of the day.
Yes.
This one I kind of like. It's learn how to delete duplicate contacts on your phone and keep all the information in a unified card or a unified contact. The way you do it is you open your contacts. So if you have an iPhone, go ahead and open your contacts. Most of us probably have duplicate contacts. You have a person in there 3 or 4 or 5 times. And you select the contact that you'd like to combine with other ones. Then you tap Edit. And then you scroll down to the bottom of the list and it says Link Contact. So you tap the plus sign for Link Contact. And then scroll through your contacts to find the one you would like to combine. And then at the top of the list, tap Link. The information you have from the contact you have just selected will be added to the contact card you started. The name of the first card will be the name listed in the newly unified card. If you'd like to change this, simply tap the name section and type the name you'd prefer. So if you had a different name come in, you could now change the name by tapping Edit and then change the name. Okay?
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, but I did appreciate the how to add an extension to a phone.
Oh, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it, but I didn't want to get involved.
There are also several apps out there you can get that you can say, go through all my contacts and merge them all. All right.
And on the Mac, you can export your contacts to a spreadsheet.
Yes, you can.
not on iPhone.
You can do that on a PC too, Greg.
Some of us don't have PCs.
Well, he has become an advocate, hasn't he?
I'm a stockholder.
He must.
So I have a question.
So I'm gonna share my screen.
Bill, I have a question about the link contacts.
Yes.
So if you're on, like, I have this problem because I have so contacts in so many places, the same person. Mm-hmm. So if I'm on I have a person in Outlook and I have them in iCloud and I have them someplace else. So if I'm on the iCloud contacts, if I click the share unified one, then it'll be my iCloud contact. Will be the deferred one.
That's correct. If you have, well, now you're getting complicated. Which contact list are you talking about? Yes, the iCloud. Oh, do you have multiple contact lists, I take it?
Yeah, well, I started before I had Apple products. I had a PC. So I had all my contacts in Outlook.
Yeah.
And now I want them in iCloud so that all my devices can talk to each other.
Yeah. Are they in iCloud now or not?
Well, some are and some aren't. And I had multiple contacts and I linked them.
So you'll have to export and then import them into the iCloud.
But weren't you just talking about the iPhone contacts, not
Okay.
everything contact?
I guess I got to, if you go to contacts, let me share my, let me share my screen for a moment. Okay, what do you see on your screen?
iPad. Your iPad screen.
Okay. If I go to my phone.
Okay, we also see that.
Is there anything in the way of it?
No.
No?
No.
All right. And then I go to my contacts. You see where it says groups?
Yes.
Yes.
I click on groups, tap on groups, you have different contact lists. I have one in Gmail, one in AOL, and I have one in the iCloud. Okay. Now the one I just combined happened to be one that was in Gmail. So if I turn off all the rest of these and only have my Gmail one up, and I click done, and I scroll down. Now, these are just in the Google Cloud. These are not in the Apple Cloud. Oh, I got to go to the C's here. And let me grab, I'll open this one. I'll do what I said, click edit, scroll down to the bottom, and I want a link. So I'm going to click link. Then I'll go to this other one. Okay, and I want to link them. So now those three are all linked together in my Google Cloud. So depending on where the contacts are is where they're going to end up, okay? I don't know if that answered your question or not, Diana.
No.
So what was the question?
My question was, I want to make sure that all my contacts, whether I originally made them in, I've linked all my contacts, you know, in my iPhone. They're all linked now. The ones that started out in Outlook and the ones that I made in different places, they're all linked now. But I want to make sure that I can see them all on all my different devices, so they all have to be in iCloud. And how do I do that without doing it manually, putting each one in iCloud?
Well, you can usually, like you could, if you have them in Outlook, you should be able to export them and then import them into the iCloud.
So I have to do each one individually.
Each source, not each contact.
What do you mean each source?
When you open, for example, Google, let's assume you have a bunch in Google, and you go to Google Contacts on your computer. There is an option there in settings somewhere that says export contacts. And you're able to export your contact and then into a file, for example, on your Mac, and then you can import them on the Mac into the Apple contacts.
I'm not following you.
Say again, you're not quite following that?
No.
What you're doing is exporting the information from, let's say, Google, and you're creating a file on your computer.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know how to mechanically do it.
Oh, it depends on each one of these sources is different. So that's why I can't.
Go into my groups, or what do I do?
Well, what I would do is I would go online and say, how do I export from Google?
Or from Outlook, in my case.
Or from Outlook.
Uh-huh.
And then on the Apple, how do I import them into the Apple contacts list?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
I think the one thing that Diana would like to do is fix it in one place and have the computer automatically update all the others. And I believe that's not possible.
No, thank you.
No, that's not true if you have all Apple devices.
No, if you have all Apple devices, but if you're working across different sources, not just all in one, if they're all Apple devices, you can do it through the iCloud. But if they're a mixture of different places.
I have all Apple devices.
What I have done is put them all in Google. And then I can get to them on PCs.
Yeah, well, I have all Apple devices now.
I know. You could do it in Google as well.
Yeah, but
you put them all at one place and then you access them all at that place with your contacts program.
Yeah, well, that's why I'd like to get everything in iCloud now. I'm with Greg on that. You know, if I've got Apple devices, it's easier to have everything in iCloud.
Okay. It's just as easy to put them into Google and have them accessed from all devices.
Yeah.
Including PCs.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not necessary. You don't necessarily have to. You can, of course, get them all into Apple. Okay, everybody?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. How do you unlink?
Oh, I haven't tried that. Let's see if we bring that one up and you tap edit. Oh, yes. I don't know. You see it on my iPhone there? There's the ones I've combined. And if I click the minus sign, it says unlink. Wow. And then done. Now I should have that. I didn't really, yeah. And it unlinks it again. I didn't realize they kept track of what they got from each source. Okay. What's on your screens right now?
iPad.
iPad.
Just my iPad? Nothing else around the
That's
edge
it.
or anything?
Just your iPad Air.
All right. Today we're going to talk about Pages. Pages is a
We did that
worksheet.
last week.
Doing numbers.
I'm sorry. Today we're going to talk about Numbers.
Numbers.
Numbers is a worksheet that allows you to.
Hey, Bill, we're not hearing you.
You can't
Yes.
hear me?
Before I couldn't hear you. I hear you now.
Okay. I was turning away slightly. Let me make sure my microphone's turned up. Can you, everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Bill, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, because there's something wrong with my computer and I had to put my AirPods in order for you to hear me because I couldn't comment at all before. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Back when Lotus VisiCalc came out with these things, they call them spreadsheets.
Yes, I still do.
And they can put them in, what it is, well, let me ask this question. What would you use a spreadsheet for?
Track my investments.
Okay, if you have a multitude of investments, you can say how much you can list the investment title, and then how much you have invested there, how much it's grown, et cetera, et cetera.
Checking account.
Checking account is a good one. How about
Registration of people.
registration, name and address of
Yes.
right?
Phone books.
Inventory.
Inventory of, I have, my nooks are on there,
There you go.
my notebooks.
A sales report. So anything that you can put in a table format is what it's designed for. Now, is there any other program besides Numbers?
Well,
Excel.
there's Excel.
Excel, main one.
Pardon me?
Excel.
Excel, yeah. Any others?
You can do spreadsheets in Pages and Keynote also.
Not with the same sophistication, but yes, you can.
No, but a good enough probably for most people.
Anything else? Well, there's Google Sheets. There's LibreOffice, which is a free office program. It contains a document preparer, a spreadsheet, and a presentation manager. OpenOffice has the same thing. And of course, there's Numbers. So if I open Numbers on my iPad, now, hopefully all of you have downloaded the program called Numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. That we went to the App Store. And if you haven't, just go to the App Store. Tap the search. Tap Numbers. And it looks like this. And go ahead and download it. You can also, as we covered last week, you can go to the bookstore, right? Do a search. And get the Nunbers user's guide.
Oh. Your user's guide was pretty good.
I know, well, this is exactly the same thing.
Oh.
Okay. So you can get that here. It's free. Now that you have a, go ahead. Now that you have a book and you have the application, you can load up a worksheet. Now, when you first open Nunbers, it comes up and lists various places you might have it. On the upper left-hand side, where I'm circling there, if you click that, you'll have different sources you can get worksheets that you've created. If you're just starting now, you would go and you would select a template. So I'd like everybody to go and select a template. And they have one called Basic. And you can get pretty sophisticated with these templates. We're just going to start out with the basics here and click on blank.
I can't find a place to get a template.
If you tap the plus sign,
Oh, okay.
it comes back and shows you all the templates that it has. And we're going to choose blank. Now, one of the things that Nunbers does is that you can put multiple, they call them tables, in one spreadsheet. So this one's called Table 1. And you see where it says Table 1 on mine? In order to avoid confusion, I'm going to just get rid of that. I think I can get rid of it. Nope, can't get rid of that one right now. If you want to name your worksheet right now, and that's a good habit to get into to start with, you just click where the title is. Mine says blank 2, yours probably says blank 1.
Bill, if you want to get rid of that header there, the title, table 1, hit the paintbrush.
Thank you.
And then the table tab and go down to title. I think it's title.
Yep, thank you. If you hit the blank, you can rename it. So we'll rename it to My First. Okay. Now in all worksheets, hopefully everybody has an A, B, C across the top and a 1, 2, 3 going down the left-hand side.
No, I don't.
I don't. I lost that.
Very difficult to see, but they're there.
Well, they may not be there in yours.
Oh,
when I took out the table 1, it took out the ABC also.
Seeing where that's put, where that control is.
Maybe they can drag the table to the right and down a little bit.
So not everybody has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that what you're telling me?
Right, I don't have.
I
have it on mine.
Click in a cell. Click in a cell to make that appear.
Yes, that works.
Did that work? Okay.
Yes.
So we got A, B, C, D, E, right? And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. The cell address is specified by the letter followed by the number. So if you tap the screen on C3, you'll notice that C3 lights up. And you selected cell C3. You can select E5. If you put your finger in the middle of the box that's selected and pull down, you can move it that way. If you tap the little button on the corner, you can expand your selection. And this will come in, this will be important as you get into this in terms of controlling what kinds of things are selected. Okay?
do that again, because mine expanded it. It didn't move the cell.
You're not moving the cell, you're moving the one you selected.
I know.
Put your finger in the middle of it to move it.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
And on the corner of it.
To expand it.
To expand and contract it. And that's this corner.
Mm-hmm.
And you just click somewhere else to change the selection. If you wanted to add more columns to your document, see the equal sign out here? You click that and it adds another column. And you can add another row.
How did you add the row? By clicking the same thing?
The equal sign gives you a new column on the top. The equal sign on the bottom gives you another row.
Oh. Didn't see it on the bottom. Thank you.
I don't see an equal sign.
Well, you clear off. How many rows do you have right now?
F, up to F.
And you don't have an equal sign?
Nope.
Interesting.
If I hit the next blank, it goes to G.
You don't have an equal sign right there?
Nope.
They're very difficult to see.
I have one on the bottom of the numbers, but I don't have one on the letters.
Hit the paintbrush and go down to rows and columns. No, you're already there at the top. Adjust the numbers there, rows and columns. No, that's the size. Go back. Where it says rows, up, right there. You can add and subtract there.
What I'm thinking is, why is hers, is it occupying the whole width of the screen? Or A through F?
Yeah.
Well,
You may have more rows over to
you
the
may
right.
select them.
No. What I'm suggesting is,
Yeah, grab the parallel lines on the right side of the E grab that and drag it. Is that what you mean?
What Greg's describing is
No.
you change the width.
Okay, now it's interesting because I did make it more columns, and now if I go to the end of them, I see the
Equal
plus
sign.
or equal sign. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if your columns are occupying more width than it's on the screen,
Yes.
and that's the problem. And if you put your finger, you can change the column and rows you're looking at. All right. I'm going to reduce the size width by. So that's one way to, by the way, that's a little bit more advanced, and that's how to change your column width. As you click on the column and tap the equal sign. The same with the row height. Okay. As Greg was pointing out to you, you have a paintbrush up there. It has a lot of different features on it. It has table, cell, format, and arrange are the different tabs. And here's where you would control the table. For example, if I wanted a blue top line, I could click this and now it changes the appearance. Skip headers and footers right now. We don't need to get into that yet. Here's where you could physically add rows and columns. And here's where you could change the size of each. What else do we want to cover there? And you could have a font. If you click the cell is where you can control the particular cell, like the font in that cell, the size of the text in that cell, the color of it. Is it centered or not, just like you would in a Pages document? Click on format, and this is where you would, if you were entering a number and you wanted it to be $, you would change it to currency. And we'll have that in an example in a moment. And we're going to skip that one for right now, arrange. The plus sign, what does the plus sign do in this case? I believe it adds another sheet. So you can have multiple worksheets in one document. If I click here, oops, plus. I thought it would add another, oh, it added another table. Oh, there we go. I'm going to cut that table. If I wanted to add another sheet, it's the plus sign on the top bar. Yes.
I have a question. I was back in the plus area and
you faded out on me.
okay, I can't get out of
Get near your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Don't move.
Okay. Okay. When I went to and now I'm in where the people are. Okay. Now I can't get out of the people to show you or to get back to what I was going to ask you.
First one right up here at the top is what you're talking about?
Yes.
Click the X.
I don't have an X.
You click the people thing, and what happened?
Now it's got collaboration.
Okay, hit the people thing again. It should disappear.
Okay, that did, but still no X that I see.
No, what was your
oh,
question?
okay. Share a file. I have an X up there, so maybe no. Okay, let me. Okay. Well, never mind. I guess I can't get back to where I was going to try to go. Because I was in the plus, and I was in something in the plus, and then I hit numbers and it checked numbers. So then I was trying to uncheck it and I couldn't because it had like minus 100.
I'm not sure where we are.
The numbers, but it's not coming up now, so I don't know.
What the, and this is a good point to keep in mind. What these at the top yield depends on where you are. For example,
again, please.
I said what the icons yield or show you at the top depends on where you are. So if I'm in the table and I click, and hit the paintbrush, it yields that. Table, right?
Yeah.
But if I click up here on the word sheets and I hit the paintbrush, yields something different. Not always, but okay.
Yes, that helped. I got out of it then now.
Okay.
Because I got, yeah, thank you.
One thing that I need to point out to you, look at my sheet. It has the number 1 at the top. And then it has 16. Whoa, how did I get from 1 to 16? And I go from A to B, but if I pull the table, if I put my finger on the table and drag it across, notice how it keeps A and it keeps 1. So it keeps the header row and the header column, if you will. Oops. And I was working on a sheet the other day and I couldn't find the information I had typed in because I was on row 14 instead of row 2 at the top. So that's just some hints on getting around. If you hit the 3 dots, this is where you could do some things external, right? You can share the document, you can export it. Here's where you would print it. And the last item there is usually for collaboration. When you want to collaborate with other folks. Oh, I'm sorry. It turns it into where you cannot change your sheet.
Mine says you're in a new reading view.
Which one?
The last one that I clicked on, that one says edit, and then it says you're in a new reading view.
Right. And then you click edit and it takes you out of that. So I'm sorry, it's designed to just read your sheet, not change it. All right.
That last one was an important improvement they made, because it used to be when you came into a sheet and were trying to move around to look at something, you ended up messing something up.
Which we all do.
Just wanted to view it.
Exactly. So they added this feature, as Greg mentioned, where you can just, at this point, I should mention, Apple always has the button indicating, see where it says edit up here? When you click edit, that takes you to edit mode. And this icon's kind of clever now that I look at it. It has a little eye on it. So if you click that, it takes you out of edit mode and just observation mode, I assume is what they mean. Point I want to make here is you're not in edit mode. You go to edit mode when you click the word edit.
Does it matter if your edit mode is blackened or if it's white like yours is?
Yeah, it's a different color, you mean?
Yes.
I
The
don't
word,
think-
the actual word is white, but the background is black. It's just reversed from what yours is.
Don't know why that is. Maybe Greg can help us with that one.
That's because your
Joanne.
background is black. Your
Sure.
background is black.
What?
The background in back of my first is black, whereas on ours it's white.
You're talking about this background up here?
Yes, yes.
He's in dark mode.
I'm in dark mode, am I?
Yes.
I see what you're, okay, I understand what you're saying now. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's that kind of day, huh? No, I got
Is
in
the sun
dark
up
mode.
yet?
Oh, it just came up. It's still in dark mode here in California. All right. What I'd like to do is spend a little time actually creating a worksheet so you get the general idea of how to do this. So what I'd like you to do is go to cell A1 and type in name. Okay? Now, usually when you press enter or return, it takes you to the next cell down.
How do you get the keyboard?
Just tap the cell. The keyboard should show up.
Nope.
No, it doesn't show up.
In
on
the
mine.
lower right-hand corner, there should be a picture of a keyboard.
Gotcha.
Tap that.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to type in the word Mary and John and Tom.
Before you get too far on those,
Mm-hmm.
the word name come up on the cell. It did not come up in the header line.
It's supposed to come up in cell A1.
Well, it didn't.
Oh. Where did it come up?
Now it's coming in A1. Thank you very much. Apparently wasn't there.
It's coming, name is coming all the way across stage.
The name's doing this.
Is your first cell frozen?
When you say first cell, what do you mean?
The A1, is that frozen as a header?
It's not just A1, it's it's 1 through H.
Yeah, it's column A and row 1, the whole thing.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
The address A1 is
It's
where
like
the
a
name.
title.
Those rows are frozen.
Yes.
What do you mean by frozen, dear?
If you scroll up, one is going to be still there.
Oh, yes, they're frozen. You're correct.
Yes.
That's a feature in Excel that you're aware of, I'm sure.
Yes.
And it's set that way. I'm not sure you can unfreeze.
Yes, you can.
Yes, yes.
I did.
Paintbrush.
Paintbrush unfreezes?
Yeah. You go in. Well, it's
For those of you who are wondering what the heck we're talking about, when I moved the whole table up, you notice how row 1 is frozen there? It doesn't go away. There's a feature that allows you to turn that off. And that's under Paintbrush, Greg?
I think so, but
yes.
I can't find it.
Go to table. Now go down to rows and columns. Row and column.
That's size?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, go to header and footer.
Ah.
Header and footer.
Okay, yes. Yep.
There's where freeze columns is. Now, that's some more advanced thing that most of you don't need to know right now. All right, in B1, we want to put in January. Okay, and then I'm going to tap on C1 and I'm going to type in February. And in D1,
Bill, on the Mac, if you just drag that column to the right, it fills them in automatically. I don't know if it works on the iPad.
I don't go there yet, Greg.
Okay. Missed the handle.
I got the handle. What handle are you talking about?
There's a yellow dot that's on the right side that you drag the yellow dot that appears on the right side.
Doesn't appear on the right side there yet.
Kind of hover over the right side of that cell.
Yeah. Oops, didn't work.
No, on the right, well, it's on the right side on a Mac. I don't know about this.
Of course, it'd be different.
There.
Didn't work.
Well, I don't know. I'll try it.
Anyway, then we go to March. Okay.
Bill?
Yep.
I can't get the proper keyboard to type in February or March. It's got down date and time, but it doesn't give me the option to type in the date.
I moved to the cell to put in March and hit the keyboard, but I don't get the keyboard. I get a grid that has all kinds of information on it, such as what you want next, a day.
Yes, I have that too. I can't change it.
You don't have the keyboard coming up right now. Is that what you're telling me?
Right.
Right.
And you hit the little keyboard symbol at the bottom and it doesn't come up with a new keyboard.
Okay, I found it, Bill.
Doesn't come up with a new keyboard. It comes up with a grid.
Over on the left-hand side, you can click ABC and you'll get the right thing.
Okay, got that. Thank you.
Let's type in April. Okay.
But it didn't put it where I want it.
Now, what I'd like for us to do is everybody put in the same numbers I'm putting in. This is a sales report. And so what we're going to do is we're going to type in some numbers here. I'll change to numbers keyboard. And $1,234.12. That's 1234.12 for Mary in January.
Oh.
Okay. For John in January, we got 2,141.84. 2141.84. And for Tom, we've got 1,432.32.
Where are you getting the number keyboard?
Oh, I'm using my external keyboard.
Tap the 1, 2, 3 on your on the screen keyboard.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, if you don't want to go to that number, see my keyboard on the screen? In light, I guess you'd call it light gray. Above the Q, there's the number 1. Above the W, 2, etc. Above the P, there's a 0. You can use those by sweeping down. So this time I'll use those and just watch the screen for a minute. I'm going to say in February, Mary brought in, I put my finger on the W and I pull down. Now it's going to be 2. 2, 1, 1, 4. 0.67. So I was able to use the alphanumeric key, the alpha keyboard, and actually put in the numbers without going to the number keyboard. That's 2,114.67 for Mary in February. Now I'll go to the number keyboard and type in 2224.44. For John. How about Tom had a banner month. He did 3, 2, 1, 4.89. Starting to get the hang of it, everybody?
Bill, there's one more there's one more keyboard. Above the 2, see the 1, 2, 3 above the 2? Tap that.
It's in numbers.
Oh.
Cool. And then we
That's
can
when I
go ahead. It's confusing. Which keyboard do you want me to use? I don't care.
Oh, that's fast. It's like an adding machine.
Yeah, this one's like an adding. If you're used to a adding machine, this one works kind of nice. So we're going to put in for March in Mary, 1121.21.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put in 1845.23. These are very precise numbers, by the way. Okay. Now, for the last one is for Tom in March is 1963.36. And we're going to do one more. Mary for April is 2523.78. John for April is 2965.36. And Tom for April is 2555.66. Okay. All right, somebody has to mute themselves.
Bill?
Yes, go ahead.
If you would have shrunk this table by dragging the parallel lines, so it just had A through E, and then 1 through 4, when you hit the next, at the bottom, it pops over to the next column.
Oh, it would add a column automatically?
Well, yes, it would, but it would
I
normally,
know.
right? When you're putting the numbers going down the column,
yep,
and you're ready to go to the top of the next column, you had to move over and tap that, right? Yep. You don't have to do that if you shrink the column.
If the number
in Excel, the column, the spreadsheet is big as the world. It's thousands and thousands of columns. You shrink this down to fit your data. You can always add more.
Mm-hmm.
As part of the philosophy of this.
Okay.
Of Apple spreadsheet.
Now, what if I didn't like the format of the text? So what I'm going to do is select all the numbers that I've put in, like so. Ooh. And I tap the paintbrush.
Oops, so never mind.
And then I tap cells. I'm trying to get to where I can change the
format.
Under text color, you can center them.
No, not the color.
Under text color, you can change
under when I go to format. So I hit the paintbrush and I go to format, and I want to make them currency instead of it's selected automatically. So I tap currency, and look what happened to all the numbers.
Where did you go? Oh, format. Okay, format.
Okay, I went to the paintbrush, and then I went to format.
Currency, and you've got them all have dollar signs.
It changes everything that I have selected to dollar signs.
It's pretty clever.
Bill, if you wanted to put a comma there to separate the numbers, how would you do that?
What happens if you just make it a number? Well, let's see. If I go to currency and hit the information. Oh, there it is, thousand separator. So I hit the, Jim?
Yes.
What I did was I went to the paintbrush.
Yeah.
Went to format. I chose currency, and then I went to the I here.
Okay.
It says, oh, 1,000 separator. I'll turn that on, and there's the comma.
Oh yeah, great, thank you.
Okay, geez.
Looking good.
I want to make an arithmetic sum of those numbers at the bottom. I think an easy way to do that is you tap cells down here in the bottom and you say sum.
Wow.
Ooh.
Bill, I lost my cell on the bottom. I lost the cell on the keyboard images on the bottom.
What do you mean by images on the bottom? Oh, just click the cell and it will show up.
Oh, okay. Thanks. So then what did you do?
I tap cell.
Yeah.
And it says there are a bunch of different quick formulas it will be able to do. One is sum. Okay. Now let's do it the hard way.
I like that way.
Well, you shouldn't learn the hard way before you at least understand the easy way.
True.
Let's do that first. I'm in cell C5.
Oh. Gonna add them like you normally would. Okay, gotcha.
All right, I'm in C5, right? If I tap either on the keyboard or I hit the equal sign at the bottom. So I'll get the keyboard. And I want to tap the equal sign. There's one right up here. I could go to here and type equals. Equals indicate that I'm going to enter a formula to do some arithmetics versus entering just text in a cell. And what you get is a line up here that says, oh, we want to make a formula. So I'm going to type in C2. Oh, I click up on the cell. And I type in C2.
Gives you February Mary.
And I get February Mary by pressing the plus sign. Right? And now I'm going to type in C3. And press enter, and I'll get February John. And guess what I'm going to press in next? C4. Okay. Now I just hit the check mark here. Ooh, what happened?
You're adding a C5 to itself. You need to take that first C5 out.
Yep. Now I hit the check mark. So let's try that again.
How did you take that C5 out?
I just tapped. Well, we'll put one in here. So I have a bunch of wrong information in the cell. And let me put some right information in there. Okay. And you'll notice it says I'm taking D5, adding to D5, and then March for John. I'll just put my finger right here and tap, then I'll hit the backspace key on the keyboard.
I've done that and I have an answer. Now I can't correct it.
I'll start over. All right. So I'm going to put in D2. Plus D3.
You got to eat now.
Plus D4. And return. Now, the reason we're going through this the hard way is in case you, what if you had to do a subtraction or you had to do some other magical formula?
You could do that.
You have to do it this way.
You lost me a long time ago. When I was doing the automatic sum, I get the time and date. I don't get a sum.
What was the date you got?
I get, instead of getting the sum of January for Mary through Tom, I get the time and date when I hit the sum.
Okay. I'm now in April right here, and I click cell. Right? And it says new formula. I'm going to tap that. That's where I would enter
it. Just to hit the current date, which is right above it.
Okay. Now, if I don't want that, and I want to put in a formula.
Oh, is that already hit first?
I select the cell and I click on sum. Here's where you got something different, Shirley.
It's Sharon.
I'm sorry, Sharon.
I've clicked on April.
Don't click on
E5. I've clicked on E5. Then you want me to click on cell.
Cell, yep.
And it comes in autofill cell. I'm not getting what you're getting at all.
So you have what I have right now?
Yes.
Click somewhere else and then click back in that cell.
Yes.
Now click the word cell at the bottom.
Yes. I've got that.
Does it say insert and quick formulas on it?
It says quick formulas and there's a sum.
So click sum.
But my sum isn't underlined, yours is. And when I click sum, I get 4:10:43 to 7:12 p.m.
What's it say on the bottom row now?
What bottom? Oh, I don't have a bottom row.
Oh.
Mine says sum E2D4.
I don't have that.
I think the formatting of the cell is wrong, Ben. It's not currency, it's time.
Oh, it's formatted as text, perhaps.
Okay,
Yeah.
how do I change that?
Select the cells.
Okay.
Wow.
Oops.
So you've selected the cells, have you?
Yeah, and I lost everything in that column. Can we go to March?
Been there, done that.
Well, generally there's an undo, and I don't see an undo.
Up here on the left.
Oh, okay. I undid it. I undid it.
You undid it?
Yes, I undid it. And now if I click on E5.
I've selected those cells.
Yes.
Now select the paintbrush.
Okay.
Go to format. Make sure it's on currency.
It's on automatic and it won't go off.
Click currency.
It won't go to currency.
It won't change it to currency? Have you included the word April in your selection or not?
Oh, okay. Now it says currency.
Good. Tap currency. Now click on cell D4 or D5 or E4. E5 or
E5.
Yeah. D5. Now click.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
when I click on E5, it highlights everything up. Going up.
Now click
Okay.
cell.
Cell.
Scroll down to where it says sum and click sum.
Nope, I still get the 41043 at 712.
Wait a minute. You should only have selected.
The cell where the sum's going to needs to be at currency also.
Delete what's in that cell right now. Just hit the delete key on the keyboard.
When I do this, click on that cell, it selects everything above it.
I know. I want you to remove the formula that's there.
How do I do that? I don't have that bar.
If you click on the cell and then you go down, click on the cell itself.
It highlights everything all the way to the top.
That's okay. When you go down, then go down to the bottom corner where it says cell. When you click on that, you look up at the top, there's a little pair of scissors. If you click on the scissors, it'll delete just that cell that you have highlighted.
Or hit the trash can on the line on the left. Too.
Okay. Okay, now let's try this. Nope. Does the same thing.
Sharon, select cell D5.
D5. Now
click cell on the bottom.
Okay, just a second. Okay, I D5. Okay, I've got that.
And now the trash can.
Cell at the bottom and the trash can. Okay, it's empty.
That's right. Now, Now hit the cell at the bottom. By the way, do your numbers, are there dollar signs on those three right now?
Yes, there are.
Okay. Tap cell, now tap sum.
But interesting enough, my sum is not underlined like yours is.
It's wanting to pick up March for some reason.
And I back to the date and time.
I know, click sum.
I did.
Now you should have a bottom line that shows up. It says sum.
Nope, I never get that bottom line.
You don't get the bottom line if there's nothing in the cell.
But
There
she
is
says she has
something in
a
the
date
cell.
in the cell.
And when
For
I
some
click
reason,
that,
it's picking up the first. Let me. Hey, Greg,
okay,
is there if you click sum? Is there a way to select the cells that you want to include in your formula?
Yes. Select E2.
I'll do it with you. Select E2 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then drag the dot in the lower right corner, drag that down.
Whole way
now you selected. But if you had been in the other cell and then said sum, then you could select it like that.
Okay, so I'm now have 3 cells selected plus the blank one underneath.
So you don't want the blank one selected.
Where's it going to put the result?
Well, I don't know. You're doing it a real different way than I do, but can I tell you how I do it?
There you go.
I still say drag this thing down, drag the rows and columns to just fit.
No, don't go that far yet.
Okay. If you go to cell E5 and put the equal in, and now click on, I think, do sum. Now click the sum. Okay, see, it's selected them, but you can override that if you want. If you want it different cells, you know, it just selects the one. When you do sum, it just selects the data because you declared that row 1 a header row. It ignores that. It knows there's no data in that row.
Yep, I understand.
And we should be a footer row here too, but you can do more if that was a footer row.
Sharon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Select, do you have anything in, I assume you still have the column D?
Yes.
March, and is there something in D5?
No.
Okay. Select cells. Select those 3 cells.
Yes.
And now click cell in the lower right-hand corner.
Yes.
And now click sum.
Oh, it gave me the sum.
There you go.
I'll be darned.
And then do the same thing with the next one. What for some reason it's including the header row in yours. Okay.
Yes.
That probably means that is not really a header row up there.
Yeah, we may have been messing around. And you can do the same thing with the other column. All right. And click sum. Now what Greg was trying to demonstrate, I usually save this for the magic. I'm going to select all the sums that we created there. So we've gone through entering a formula by just typing it, right? We've gone through using the sum. And now I have selected those cells where the sum is, and I'm going to delete those. Okay, so I'd like everybody to do that.
They're gone.
So your boss is standing behind you, and he walks in and he says, I wonder if that person understands Excel or numbers. So you go like this, and you select all these cells, okay?
You want us to do that?
No, I just selected them, right?
Okay.
Everybody able to do that?
Yes.
Now I'm going to click where it says cell down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click sum. And if you've done that already, you've destroyed the magic. Because when I do that, you'll see what it did. It automatically puts in the sum at the end.
Automatically.
Of all of them at once. And that's what Greg was getting excited and wanted to show you. And I don't blame him at all.
Pretty neat.
That is.
Bill, another thing, click on one of the, click on E up there in the head, the top. No, just on the E itself. Double click it. Now double click it. You click it once, double click it. It selected just the data portion. Now you have a bunch of blank rows down there, but see, that's how, if you wanted to format a column, the whole column, instead of selecting cells, you just double click it, selects all the data cells in the column or in the row, and then you can format them all.
Yep. Same thing you can do on a regular computer Excel sheet.
But it's just good to know.
On a real computer.
Yeah.
Now, how do in this one, how do I select multiple columns, Greg?
I'll hold it.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah.
If I select B, I can select all of these columns at once. And then I can do the same paintbrush trick. Let's say I wanted to expand.
On everything. Yeah.
I wanted to expand the cells and I wanted to change the font size. So I'm going to change the font size on all of those cells simultaneously. If I select the column A, I selected everything in column A. Then I hit the paintbrush and I'm going to increase the size of the names there. And I want to center those. So I would go over here and center them.
Oh, wow.
What? You hit the paintbrush, but I get something different when the paintbrush comes up.
Did you select the cells first of all?
Yes, I did.
So I have A selected, right? Then I hit the paintbrush. Now you might have something different because of the tabs here at the top. You hit table, cell, format, or arrange.
Okay.
So I was on cell. There's where I could change.
Okay, now I can change.
One of the other things you can do is, let's see, that make a difference. You can right align your text, center your text, or left align. If the information you're typing exceeds the width of the cell, this would be rapid. That means it would go to a second line within the cell.
Oh.
Now, if I wanted to pretty this up a little bit, right? So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to select the whole table. Oh, no, I'm just going to select that much of the table. And I'm going to go to the paintbrush. I'm on cells, and I want to put a fill color. So I'm going to choose blue. Well, let's make it a little lighter blue, okay? The technique here is you select what you want. I go to the paintbrush, and whenever I change here affects those cells. So I'm going to change the fill color there. Let's make it green.
Not very pretty.
Okay, then I can go in and what if I whoops. And I want to put a border around all of it. Again, tap the paintbrush, go to borders, and I'll select the border around everything. And I could change the border style to be, I don't know, 3-point green. And I could make it wider or narrower. So now I have a pretty nice table.
You can also make it, the columns fit the data.
By double tapping the edge?
Well, select everything again and then see where it says cell action.
Yep, hold on.
Click cell action.
I don't see a cell action on mine.
On the little black bar, the drop down underneath,
yeah.
To the far, no, far right. Do it again. Okay, cell actions.
Yep, and?
Well, shoot.
Didn't want that one.
Just this time, just select one column.
Okay. The whole column?
Yeah.
Okay. Column action?
No.
All right.
Well, maybe.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe. I'll do it this way. I did that.
Okay, that way. Cell action. And boy, I got more choices on mine.
Well, you're looking at a Mac.
Well, all right. Sorry.
That's okay. There are.
One of my selections is fit cells or fit data, and it shrinks the columns down.
Yeah. So they must not have that feature available.
No, that I'm on my iPad.
Okay. I know in Excel, you just tap right here, the line between the two. You double tap and you can get, well, maybe that's it. There's
Bill, that to do that, you have to select not the header, just the cells, but not the header cells.
Assume, now Greg, you can help me with this. Assume I want to create, what's the maximum that was brought in by any one individual in this column?
So yeah, do it equal.
Well, I was going to click here,
yeah,
and tap average or maximum.
Okay.
But then it's what cells is it going to select is the problem. And I've got to
selected everything above it.
Correct. Can I change that at this point?
Yeah. Try to double click.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Nope, that didn't work. Double click where?
Well, in the answer, down in the answer.
Yeah.
If it brings you up it brings you up the line, bring the typewriter up, the keyboard.
Click on cell.
Hit the typewriter one left of it.
Oh, the keyboard.
Select or deselect a cell.
Okay. You see, now click in the zone, where it says B2 colon B6. Now don't click the arrow. Click. Oh shoot. Well, I guess you can type over it, but drag those things is the only way right here, I guess. I'm not as familiar with it here.
Yeah, I know.
What did you want? The average of those three, did you say, or your maximum?
Take the average, the min, the max, whatever.
Okay, you just select those three. You don't include the bottom one. Just select those three.
Where's it going to put the answer?
And hit cell. And then choose what you want.
Let's put the answer right below it. It replaced the sum.
No, that's the average. That's the maximum one.
Right. But if I wanted to have two, then is the thing we were trying to do.
I think it works better if you create footer rows underneath. You can have up to 5 footer rows and put 5 different formulas below.
Right, right. Well, I should be able to put one right here, right?
Yeah, yes.
So I click cell, and now I want average. But that's not the average.
You have to drag that selector. No, that's the copy.
I know.
It's the left corner one.
You get rid of that.
Grab a cell that's not in the column and try to do it. Yeah.
Over here?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Go with the average.
Oh.
There's got to be a way to move that easily, and Greg and I are not familiar enough to know that one.
If down there when you had that typewriter up, if you overwrite that, you can pick your own.
I know you can
type your own range in.
I know that's a pain. You know.
Well, let's all switch over to our Macs. I'll show you how to do it.
Boy, he's one man. By the way, it's much easier to do it in Excel.
If you're in B7 right now.
Yeah.
If you click on that and then click on the average,
it will pick up all the cells above it, is what we're saying.
Right. Yeah, but then you adjusted it. You just needed to click on cell when you got done.
Was that right? So let me try that.
Click on the.
So I'm going to pick average.
Average. Now that B2 and B6 you have in the formula at the bottom.
Yeah.
If you click on that, don't hit the arrow, hit the B2 to B6.
Okay.
Now you can move, you've got B2 to B6, so take the button on B6 and roll it up to B4.
Would that work?
This is B2 to B4. Now hit the green check box over on the right.
Yes. Yes. All right. So if I go here and I want another calculation, thank you, Bill. We hit cells. Let's assume we want the.
You can pick the maximum if you want.
I'm going to take maximum. Ooh. What did I pick?
Now, if you hit.
Oh, we picked the one beside it. So now I hit B7. And now I'm going to change. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. And then hit the check mark. Bingo.
Bill, if you'd have declared the footer as 5, those sums would never pick row 5. The problem is that you've got that as just it's a data row, not a footer row.
Okay, so if I make, what Greg's suggesting is you make this a footer. How do I do that?
Well, if you go to paintbrush, you need to really shrink this down. Paintbrush, if you add a footer, it's going to take the bottom 1 through 5.
Oh, okay.
Your table,
Right.
shrink it.
Row number.
Well, you can go in that paint, or yeah, delete them. No, you got to delete. Grab that equals at the bottom and drag it up. The bottom of the, way down there, drag that up. It won't let you drag past real numbers. Now go on the right side and drag it to the left. Up at the top. No, not the, yeah, the equal. Okay.
Yep.
Now go to the paintbrush. And we want to look at headers and footers, and you want 3 footer rows. No, down to bottom, footer rows. Make it 3. Okay, now you're done. Now click outside. Now try some stuff in those empty boxes down there.
Yeah, pick 3.
No, you want cell, I think. Not in that one. That's a header. Go to E7. Cell E7.
I thought I made 3. And where did I go for footers?
Well, you've already declared the footers.
I want to make some more.
Now you made Tom a footer too. No, put your cursor in E7.
Okay, E7.
Okay, now hit cell. Now see how it didn't pick up the ones above it?
Yep.
You now 4. Now Tom's a footer, so he doesn't count, and he's not part of the sum. It took only the data from column April. Yeah, double click E up there on the E. Double click it. See, there's only 2 rows that are data.
Expanding it.
Want to know what the minimum of all of those are?
Yeah, what's all of
I mean, the minimum of each row.
I want to go. Yeah, of each row. How about going out this way?
Let's see. Haven't tried that.
Yeah, how about that?
No, I don't want to move it. Dummy.
You trying to add a column?
Yep.
You can just hit that equal sign, get rid of this and hit the equal sign again.
I did it the way we did originally. I got it.
So then if I click there in cells and
Hit minimum or maximum.
That worked.
So if you can ever catch that yellow dot that's in the bottom and you drag it, that's supposed to, it reselected, but when you drag that copies everything to the cells you drag it, all the formulas.
It's supposed to, but it didn't. So
But
actually,
it doesn't seem to want to work very well.
I can't find it all done.
that's okay. We're more into advanced little things than we need it to be. Undo, right?
Bill,
Yes, go ahead, please.
I missed how you got the sums to be a green, that row to be green. How
I
did you do
selected
that?
the row. Then I went to the paintbrush. And I went to cells. And there's text color, and here's fill color.
Oh,
So we'll make that yellow now. Okay. So the key to using the paintbrush usually is you select a bunch of cells and then hit the paintbrush. And whatever cells you, and make sure you're on the cells tab. And whatever cells you selected is what you're going to modify. So if I wanted to change the color here to say an orange, okay.
yeah.
And I want to center January, February, March, and April. I want to center those in the column. Again, I would select them, tap the paintbrush, and then click centering on the cells tab. Do the same thing with, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we got a little more advanced than we needed to if you were just starting with this, because those of us who have Excel and those of us have been using numbers wanted to show some additional things you can do. Basically, most people, this is as much as they need to know. Okay. And then they play some games with some of the other things. But most of the time, you're just doing addition, subtraction, that kind of thing.
May I ask a question?
Of
Is there
course.
any possibility that the kind of stuff that you get when you hit the word cell down at the bottom after you've highlighted your thing where it says minimum, maximum, sum, and so forth, will ever go on a computer Excel sheet?
That
Or does
same
it have to-
feature exists there in the upper right-hand corner called formulas.
Okay.
And there's an
That would be-
automatic sum indicator on Excel. You just click it and it does
the same thing.
as this.
Thank you.
Okay. I should say, and it's much easier to get to.
True.
Oh,
And you can-
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And I'm curious how this numbers compares to Excel. I don't use either, and I'm just wondering which might be either more user friendly or how do the two compare?
Well, Greg will swear by this, and I would swear by Excel because we've both been using them for so long. And everything's become, just basic, memory, rote memory. Oh, I need to do this, and it all comes flowing out.
But I think
if I wanted to start with one, which one do you think would be the ones to start with? That
what kind of a computer do you have?
I'm sorry?
What kind of a computer do you have?
Windows.
So I would start with Excel.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the version that
I
Greg
agree.
is using is on his Mac, which probably has more features than the one on the iPad.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you're your computer would.
So it's based on the computer you have. And
Okay.
so Greg and I could have a race and we'd probably tie.
Yes.
Doing features. Because his is rote memory for this. So
I have another question. This morning I looked at the templates that came with numbers, and it looks like there's a lot of really good templates that they have. Does Excel have the same amount? Like I notice here, like, yeah, where you're scrolling right now, that all that stuff looks great. Does Excel have the same kind of starter templates?
what you have to do is get
Can't hear you, Bill.
they're not quite as obvious in Excel, but yes, the templates are available, and in some cases you have to download them. They aren't this handy. So that's but I usually start with a blank form.
And you can make your own template.
Exactly. In both. But they have more than just here.
For ease, I'm kind of looking for easy.
What do you want to do with it though?
I don't know yet, but I'm just looking for something.
That's a good one.
Template that's already made for me.
Well, no, all of them come with the basic rows and columns. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
One thing
from that. Okay.
Now this Numbers is free, but Excel is not, unless you use the Google or well, what's the other one? I forget the name of the other one. LibreOffice.
LibreOffice, yeah. Here's one that looks like a calendar. Right? That's been designed where you fill in the cells and the dates.
We already have a calendar. And
I understand.
Yeah, but this calendar, you could put everybody's picture, different members of your family's pictures on their birthdays and things like that. You can really dress it up. If you have time to waste like me.
There's one for finances. That one's pretty nice. Because I've learned to think like Excel wants me to think, this was a little more cumbersome. I thought that the Pages one was quite nice in a lot of areas. This one's a little more, at least on the iPad, it's not quite as intuitive.
And the problem I had with it on the iPad is when I went to move a cell, half the time I got more than one cell, or it moved the whole line. It did more than just that one cell. That's mainly because my fingers and cells, my fingers and iPads don't work together.
We're new to this, so.
Yeah, I only look at stuff on the iPhone and iPad. I do it on the Mac. I don't like the interface.
Right.
Yeah.
As the same with Word and
yeah.
Word
do it on my computer. I do it on my laptop.
Yeah.
Now, one thing you can do with the iPhone, I think you can do it on the iPad too, is you can make an input sheet where you take a whole line and it just converts it makes a full page out of it for entering data. When you try to enter data on an iPhone, it's pretty small screen, but that fixes it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me switch back here. Good, we still have, a lot of us are still here. And I had a nephew that went out to the Scout Ranch in Philmont, New Mexico. Yeah, Philmont, New Mexico. And he was going to be doing some hiking. He told me about the wilderness guide he had, met them as they were preparing to go for a hike. And one of the scouts said, "What about the bears out here?" And he said, "Well, we got 3 kinds of bears. The first thing I want to make sure is all of you have your whistles and your pepper spray, right?" And all the scouts, of course, agreed. He says, "Okay, if you see black scat is from black bears. If you see brown scat," oh, by the way, the black scat is black because the bears eat blackberries and things like that. You see brown scat, that's brown bears. Okay? That's because they eat twigs and roots and they also eat berries, but you know. And if you see scat that has little pieces of whistle in it and smells like pepper spray, that's a grizzly.
Great.
All right, folks. I'll stop recording now.
Goodbye.
All right.